Hi everyone, and welcome to my live creative time today. My name's Mandy Witherby from Mandy's Papercraft Creations, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. It's great to be with you this week. The weeks just roll on, don't they? And the closer we get to the end of the year. So we are already, now what's today's date? Today's date is the 15th of August. So we're already halfway through August. Can you believe that? Amazing. Okay, so if you are live with me today, you will see the red live button up the top in the top left hand corner, and you'll know that you're live with me today. So thank you for joining me if you're live, and thank you to those who are watching the replay later as well. I will upload this to my YouTube channel, and if you would like to subscribe to my YouTube channel, you can do that by clicking on the subscribe button, which is down the bottom right hand corner on YouTube. And while you're there, if you click on the little bell icon, you can choose how you'd like to be notified whenever I upload a new video. So check that out if you're watching over there on YouTube. So as you jump on, say hi. Let me know that you're here, and if this is your first time watching today, let me know where you're watching from. We love having new people join us. It's so exciting. All right, so I'm going to bring this up on my iPad so that I can see all of your comments there. Hey Julie, how you going? Great to have you here. How was your weekend? All right, so let me just bring this up on my iPad. I'll get that in the right place. Where are we? To find where we are. There we go. Okay, great, good. And I've got my laptop over on the other side today because I needed a bit of extra desk space today, so I didn't have room to put it over here on my desk, so I've had to pop it over there on the other side. So if you see me glancing over there, I'm just checking things over there as well. So I've got hubby. Oh, hey Brenton, how are you? Great to have you with us today. Fantastic. I've got hubby working at home today, so hopefully the internet will cooperate because he's online all day with his job. So yeah, hopefully. And now I've got 3 devices running, so we'll see how we go. If it starts to get a bit glitchy, I'll shut one of them down because I've got my iPad and my computer as well, because sometimes the iPad plays up a little bit. So we'll see how we go. Oops, hang on a sec. I just need to turn the volume down on that one. There we go. Okay, all good. Hey Deborah, hi Rose. Great to have you with us today, ladies. How are you? How was everyone's weekend? What did you get up to? Now, I hope that you've all got your tea or your coffee or your hot chocolate or whatever it is you like to drink. I hope that you've got that with you today. Last week we were talking a lot about different types of tea, and people were giving me suggestions of all different types of yummy sounding tea, some of which I'd never tried before. And that spurred me to get all my tea out. Well, actually, in my kitchen, I have a cupboard where, sorry, getting close to the camera there, got a close-up view, just popping my tea down. I have got a tea and coffee cupboard, so I've got all my pretty tea cups and my pretty teapot, my pretty fancy spoons and things like that. They don't get much use these days. Then I've got a shelf with all my mugs, and then I've got a shelf with all my tea, coffee, hot chocolate, sugar, all of that sort of thing. So I cleaned that all out on the weekend, and I found that I had quite a few boxes of T2 tea that had expired. So I chucked them out, and so I had to put in another order, didn't I? So I got 3 new flavors of tea, and they just arrived today, so I haven't opened them yet. You like tea too? French Earl Grey. Yes, I love French Earl Grey as well, Brenton. A lot of people don't like it, which is interesting. My husband was telling me something on the weekend that he heard someone on the radio saying that they felt that Earl Grey tea tasted like dishwater, and I'm like, what are they talking about? It's really nice. But French Earl Grey is beautiful. Yeah, I love it. Yum. So today I am drinking... now let me think, which one did I put in there? I put in ginger nut chai. That's right, I've got ginger nut chai today, so it's really got a nice gingery aroma and it tastes delicious. So that's what I've got today. And the one was trying to think of last week that I was telling you about in the purple box, the Twinings one. It was Darjeeling. That was the one I had last week. That was really nice as well. I love that one too. But yeah, so I've got quite a few different ones now. So every week I'm going to try and have a different one. So I'll tell you about the different ones each week when I have my cup of tea. So what's everyone drinking today? Let me know in the comments. And I love talking about different teas. I love trying different teas. I'm not a coffee drinker. Coffee doesn't really go well with me, so I steer clear of the coffee. I know a lot of you are coffee drinkers, so that's great. But yeah, it just doesn't, my tummy doesn't really like coffee for some reason. So Julie said our weekend was good. We had a first birthday yesterday, which was nice. Ah, lovely. So nice going to those first birthdays, or any children's birthdays really, isn't it? They're very special times. Yeah. Awesome. Yes, Brenton, it's lovely to meet fellow tea lovers who love all different sorts of teas, so that's awesome. The ones I got today in my order were Lamington, which I thought that sounded interesting because I love to eat Lamingtons, but I thought I'll try that in a tea, so I haven't tried that yet. I got Spy Chai, so it's spiced chai, I suppose, and the other one I got was... What's the other one I got? Oh, there's a new powdered chai that T2 do. And I can't remember what it's called, but it's a powdered one. So I thought, oh, I'll try that one too. As like an instant one rather than a, steeped one. So I thought I'd try that. Brenton's about to brew some pumpkin pomegranate tea. Oh, that sounds nice too. Very nice. Is that more of a herbal one that you don't put milk with? Or do you like to have milk with yours? I do like some herbal teas, but I'm much more partial to teas that you add milk to. So I like sort of the black tea mix ones. Yeah. Lamington one is nice. Oh, you've had it, have you? Oh, awesome. That's good. I look forward to that. I might try a cup later tonight, actually, of the Lamington. Oh, it's a fruit tea, so no milk. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, pomegranate. Yeah. Ah, cool. Very good. Yeah. So there we go. So today we are going to be playing with some brand new products from the Sale-A-Bration brochure, actually, because I had a few that I still hadn't touched. So let me tell you about Sale-A-Bration if you're not familiar with Sale-A-Bration. Sale-A-Bration is a promotion that Stampin' Up runs twice a year now, and this one finishes on the 31st of August. So we've only got just a couple of weeks left of this one, but with every $90 you spend, you can choose a free product from the Stampin' Up from the Sale-A-Bration brochure, which is super awesome. So it pays to shop during Sale-A-Bration because you get freebies. So you might like to choose a level 1 item or a level 2 item. So the level 1 items are the ones when you spend $90, and then there's other ones that you can choose when you spend $180 or more. Or if you get to $180, you can choose 2 of the $90 products as well. So they are totally free. There are all different sorts of things in there. There are stamps and dies, and I've showed a lot of these, and we've made some of the projects with some of these as well. There's stamps and dies. Today we're going to be using some of the Rings of Love designer series paper. This one here, I'll show you in person, well, on camera, but I'll show you the paper full size on camera. It's really beautiful. There's lots of different designs there. So we're going to be playing with some of that today, as well as playing with the Stylish Sketches stamp set. So this is really beautiful, this stamp set. And we're going to be playing with the little ducks today. We're going to be creating some little mallard ducks. So I'm going to show you what we're going to be creating. And then we've got some designer series paper, which has got, it's hard to tell in the catalogue and it's hard to tell on camera, but it's spots and stripes in silver and gold. It's really beautiful. I've actually got some. I should have got that out to show you. I'll try and remember to show you next week, that one. Then when you spend $180, as I said, there's other items that you can choose. So there's this fantastic stamp set here, which is the amazing amazing phrasing. You've got the tree lot dies. So I posted a card made with those a couple of weeks ago. Last week? Was it last week? Week before, I think, with the caravan. So super cute. And they coordinate with the Trees for Sale stamp set from the mini catalogue. And then there's this one as well, which you get the designer series paper and a stamp set together in a bundle. So that one again is for when you spend $180. You get that for free. So yeah, so you can shop from any of the products, any of the current products from the online store or the mini catalogue or the annual catalogue. Now, not only that, but Stampin' Up! Has also added some additional products, and these products are actually, some are from the annual catalogue and some are actually from the mini catalogue. Again, you've got the two levels, so some are for when you spend $90, you can choose them for free, and some are for when you spend $180, then you can choose some of the dies for free. But they are beautiful. But you'll see them in the online store. If you're shopping online with me, you'll see them in the online store. They'll pop up when you get to that sales requirement for the free item. They'll pop up, the selection will pop up, and you get to choose from those there. But they are beautiful. So many great things to choose from in there. So there's embossing folders and dies, some packaging, some foil cardstock. And I actually just at the end of last week, so it hasn't arrived yet, I placed an order, and I got some of the silver foil for free, which is awesome. So it's in 3 different textures of silver cardstock, silver foil cardstock. That should be arriving this week too, so I can probably show you that next week, which is super cool. So now let me just see, I've had a few more jump on. Dimity's here. Hi Dimity, how are you? Great to have you here. We've also got Jenny. Hey Jenny, how you going? Oh, it's raining down in Tassie, is it? Oh, it's a bit overcast here today too, actually. It's threatening to rain, so I think we might get a bit of rain this week as well, perhaps. So there you go. Now that's so that is when those are the things that you can get for free when you shop during Sale-A-Bration. But also too, if you have ever thought about joining Stampin' Up, now is a great time to do that as well during Sale-A-Bration, so before the end of August 2022, because when you join during that time, so it's the same price as usual, so it's $169 for your starter kit. Now in that starter kit you can pop any items that you like from current product. You might even like to pop stuff in there from the clearance rack, from the mini catalogue, the annual catalogue, and in the online store there's also some products that are not in a catalogue as well. They're just online, such as our beautiful mugs or tumblers, as they're called on the Stampin' Up store. So these come in 5 different colours. They're around $30, I think, here in Australia. And they're beautiful, and they keep your tea or your coffee or your hot drinks. They'd be great for soup too, I guess too. They keep them really nice and warm, and they're a big size. They take about a cup and a half or a mug and a half. So they're on there too. Yeah, so you can pop anything you like into that starter kit, and then you can choose up to $235 to put into your starter kit, but you only pay $169 for it, which is super awesome. And you get free shipping on that starter kit order as well, which is super awesome. It's the best value in the catalog because you're getting $66 worth of product for free, plus the free shipping. So add that on. I think that works out at another, I can't remember what it was now, $11.75 or something like that, something around there for the shipping. You get that for free too. So then you're up to over $70 for free. Plus, during Sale-A-Bration, you get added freebies added to your starter kit just for joining during Sale-A-Bration. You'll get this beautiful planner, which is absolutely gorgeous. Now you can use this. This is an 18-month planner. It started in July of 2022, so it goes up to December 2023. It holds 6 months at a time, but you get the whole, you get all of the pages for the entire 18 months. In there are lists. There are your year at a glance, month at a glance, and week at a glance pages. There's also lists, there's additional pages in there for writing notes, there's focus and goal sheets and things like that. And it comes with 4 sheets of stickers as well. And it's really beautiful. In fact, I'm using some grid paper today that matches with it. So yeah, so it's a really beautiful planner. And you also get dividers as well. So look, there's some of the, look how beautiful it is. So pretty. That's a divider, one of the dividers for one of the months, and that's one of the notes pages. And then I'll flip over. You've got some focus pages. And so you can use this as a personal diary, as a personal diary, a journal, a memory journal. You can use it for all different sorts of things. So that's your week at a glance. Yeah, and then you can dress it up with your stickers and all sorts of things. You can do all sorts of things for it. I actually got some additional stickers last week, and so I've been setting mine all up. Oh, look, this is something I wanted to tell you about too. World Card Making Day. So on the 1st of October, Stampin' Up is going to be putting on a special event for World Card Making Day. So I'll give you more information about that when it gets closer, but it is on the website already. So if you go to the my online store, you'll see a banner advertisement for it. It'll pop up. And yeah, it's going to be an online event and everybody is invited. So it's super cool and it's absolutely free. So it's going to be great. And it's going to go for about 3 hours. And yeah, it'll just be a really fun crafting time. Now, not only that, with the planner, you also get a stamp set, which is great for using for your planner. And some of those you can use for card making as well. And you also get 3 notebooks with that as well. Absolutely free when you join during Sale-A-Bration. So if you would like more information about that, then please get in contact with me and let me know if you have any questions. I'd love to answer them for you because I like everyone to be well informed, because I like asking a lot of questions and I like to know the ins and outs of everything too before I make a decision. So, you know, I'm happy to answer questions for people as well. But of course, also too, the other wonderful thing is, well, the 2 most wonderful things is, 1, you'll get a 20% discount on all of your products while you remain an active demonstrator. And 2, you join a wonderful stamping community. So where you can make new friends. You can stay in the background if you want to as well, totally up to you. You can just come along and enjoy the discount, but I know a lot of you, a lot of paper crafters or crafters in general, love the community, love getting involved with other crafters and sharing that joy and that fun. So we love to share our crafting with other people, and we love welcoming new people to our team. So if you would like more information about that, then please feel free to get in contact with me. And of course, there's many other benefits as well, but I could keep talking about it for hours, but I won't, because we want to get into some crafting. But yeah, so just please let me know if you have any more questions, and I'd love to answer them for you. Now, don't forget too, we've got our mini catalog and who's started their Christmas projects. I'm going to be starting mine next month in September, because it's going to creep up really quickly and I'm always scrambling at the last minute to get all those Christmas cards done. So I'm going to be starting next month. But in the mini catalogue, there are lots of Christmas products in there, and there's some in the annual catalogue as well, which is this big one. And all of our staple products are in the big annual catalogue too. But if you don't already have catalogues and you don't have a demonstrator here in Australia, then please let me know and I'd love to get them out to you. I can send you the link. In fact, after this live today, I'll pop all of the links, including the link to my newsletter. Make sure you subscribe to my newsletter so you can stay updated. And if you're a new subscriber to my newsletter, you will also get an exclusive tutorial that I have designed just for my email subscribers or my newsletter subscribers. So you can only get that when you subscribe. So there's 3 projects in that tutorial, 3 different projects using annual catalog product. So check that out. Yes, I'll pop all those links in the description of this video, both on Facebook and on YouTube. So you'll have all of those there. So yeah, so there we go. Alrighty, so we have got a few more jumping on. Fantastic. Remember to say hi if you're jumping on, and if this is your first time watching, then let us know where you're watching from. We would love to have you chatting with us. All right, let me take a sip of my ginger nut chai, and then we'll tip the camera down and we'll get started. It's yummy. It's a good temperature too. I didn't burn my mouth today. I made sure I added a little bit of extra cool water so that I didn't burn my mouth. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover up the camera so I don't make you all dizzy while I get the camera down onto my desktop. I will also then let you know where you can find all of these wonderful products as well that I'm talking about. I'll give you the link there to find my online store and all of those things, and my blog and all those things. So bear with me. I'm going to cover up the camera. Here we go. I'm going to do a little flippity flip, and I'll just adjust the camera for you. So here we go. Alrighty. Might be a bit squeaky while I just get it adjusted. All right, we'll tighten all the clamps back up, and that can be a bit squeaky too. There we go. Alrighty, let's see if I got it straight today. I think, was it last week or the week before, I got it pretty straight first time. And I'm using some grid paper today. Oh, I can see I don't have it straight, but that's okay. What I can do is I'll move the grid paper over anyway, over that way a little bit. There we go. Oh, and do we need to go up a bit too? Maybe up a little bit as well. We are a bit crooked, so let's straighten it up a bit. How's that? Is that a bit better? Can see by the wood grain under my my desk. That's a bit better. There we go. Now we just need to straighten this up a tad. Alrighty. So, okay. So as I was saying, my blog, my online store, you can find 2 ways. So you can find it via my blog, which is mandyspapercraftcreations.blogspot.com. And if you do go to my blog, you'll find lots of other creative inspiration there as well as the link to sign up for my newsletter, which I mentioned as well. So you can click on that. There's also PDF versions of the catalogs. So if you don't have the catalogs, if you don't have a paper copy or you're waiting on a paper copy, there are PDF versions there as well that you can click on down on the right hand side on my home page. So check that out. And there's links to my other social media channels there as well. I've also got tutorials there for sale. So I have technique tutorials. Then if you click on the 3 dots or on more, depending on your device, then it'll give you a drop down menu, and then you'll also have, you can also view my tutorial bundles as well. Now I actually have, I keep forgetting to post it actually because I've had so many other things to post, but I do have a new tutorial bundle for August, and that will go out to my customers who purchase over $75 during the month of August. They will get that absolutely free, and my team get those tutorial bundles for free as well. So so that's awesome. Now if you're shopping with me, be sure to use my host code, and that way I can send you out that free gift as well to thank you for shopping with me with orders over $75. I also do have a website, so you can go there too. On the website there, you can also get to my shop link as well. That one doesn't have my newsletter subscription though, so or the other blog posts, but I do have some projects on there, so you can check out both. Go and check out both, and yeah, see what's there. Alrighty, so today, as I said, we are going to be playing with the Stylish Sketches stamp set, which is really beautiful. So we've got an image here of a fox. These are very, well, as it says, sketches. These are sketch images. So we've got a fox, we've got some mallard ducks, which they're what we're going to be using today. And we've got some beautiful figs here as well. So today we're going to be focusing on the ducks. This is a red rubber stamp set. So these stamps have the, and Amber has already put the stickers on them for me today because we hadn't opened it till today. So she's popped the stickers on there for me, which is awesome. I love putting the stickers on my stamps because it helps me to line them up when I'm stamping. And these have the foam built into them, so you have that lovely cushioning which helps you to get a lovely crisp image when you're stamping. I've taken out the ducks already, and you've also got some speckles here as well, so you can use that for soil or dirt or as a background, however you'd like to use it too. And then we've got the beautiful designer series paper. Hang on one sec. I'm just going to bring that in to show you. Here's the paper. Now I've already cut some that we're going to be using today. We're going to be using this one today, and we might use some of the tree rings as well. I'm just deciding about that part, but we're using this one here as a background. So it's the same paper. I've just cut that in half horizontally. So then that will actually give me now, if I cut this in 3 sections, so at 4 inches, that'll give me, because it's 12 inches wide, that'll give me 6 card fronts. Okay, so if you want to get the maximum card fronts out of these, if you want to use it as full card fronts, then yeah, you just cut it in half horizontally, and then at 4 inches and 8 inches, and that'll give you yeah, 6 card fronts. If you want to do it the other way, if you want to have landscape cards, then you'd want to cut your paper that way. So you'd want to cut it vertically, and then that would give you, if you cut it then again at 4 inches and 8 inches, that would give you 6 pieces lengthways that way. Okay, so it just depends on which way you want to, which orientation you want them. But let's have a look at all the other papers as well in this paper pack. They're gorgeous, and there's so many colors. We've got, what have we got in here? Crushed curry, evening evergreen, mint macaron, night of navy, parakeet party, petal pink, poppy parade, and soft suede. So there's lots and lots. Now I've got these already turned over for you. So this is the front and this is the reverse side. In fact, what I'll do is I'll do it like this. Okay, so I'll just flip them over. So that's the front and that's the back. Okay, so aren't they beautiful? Beautiful paper. There we go. So there you can see the opposite. Then we've got the gum nuts, or the oak. I don't know, they look like oak leaves. And then this is the reverse side of that one. So really beautiful. Then you've got the bluebirds. These ones have been really popular. I've seen lots of cards being made with this one. And if I turn that over, you'll see the back, the reverse side, which is this beautiful watercolor look. Isn't that gorgeous? Then you've got these houses, these little houses, where there's all different sorts of little houses. So you can use them as a scene, or you might want to cut them out individually and use them individually. Then on the other side, you've got these beautiful big medallions, which are gorgeous. And then this is the one that we're using today. Oh, and then there's one more, that's right. So this is the one we're using today. And then there's this one as well, which this one will be great for Christmas cards. It's really beautiful, beautiful Christmassy sort of colors. And then on the back side of that one, or the reverse side, you've got these beautiful trees, which would be fantastic for lots of nature-inspired projects. So there you go. So this is one of the free items with a $90 purchase. You can choose this pack of papers for free. This is called the Rings of Love. Rings of Love. And when you spend $90 in my online store, it will pop up as one of the selections. that you can choose. Now, all of the items in the Sale-A-Bration brochure are while supplies last, just so you know. We have already had the cards and envelopes sell out, so they won't be returning. They're no longer available. So if there was anything that you had your eye on from the Sale-A-Bration brochure, then make sure that you don't wait. Make sure that you get that before they all sell out. All right, so I have some inspiration today. Okay, first of all, because we're using those beautiful little ducks, I went and found a picture, an image of mallard ducks on the internet, and I printed that out so that I could get the colouring right. Oops, sorry, I've got a bit of glare happening there on the stamp set. So I've got those there as a colour reference, which is awesome. And I'm really happy with how that printed out, actually. That printed out really nicely on my printer. I was like, wow, that's a great picture. But they're just so beautiful. And the male ducks, of course, as with most birds, the males are the ones that always have the most beautiful colour. And the females are more sort of muted colours. So yeah, but in this stamp image, we have both the male and the female. So that's great. So we can colour both of those. So that was a good find, finding that picture. Now also too, I have a card that I created a while ago. And this was one, just getting rid of the blue tack that was on the back of it. This was one that I created a while ago, but never really used it because this stamp set was pulled from the catalogue because there were some images in the stamp set that weren't stamping properly. The bird actually was in my stamp set, stamping fine. And so we created this card, but then yeah, the stamp set was pulled, so I never used it. So I thought, fantastic, I'm going to use that as my idea for today's project. So this was a beautiful one. I can't even remember the name of the stamp set now. Somebody might remember, but it's no longer available, that one. But yeah, I just thought that was just a beautiful nature sort of layout. And so I thought, yeah, we're going to case that today. So pop that up there. If you've got any questions as I go along, feel free to ask me. If I miss them, then at the end I will ask again. And you can, yeah, ask. Well, I will remind you to ask me again in case I miss them. Another sip of my ginger nut chai. Yummy, yummy. All right. So what I've got is I've got a few pieces of cardstock here ready to go, and my designer series paper, but we're going to do a bit of cutting together. So I've got some pieces done, some pieces that we will do together. But let me just show you the first place where we're going to start is with our base, our card base. So I'm using a card base of crumb cake. So this is half a piece of A4 cardstock cut lengthways. So it's 29.7 centimeters by 10.5 centimeters. And it's scored in the middle. And we're going to fold that at 14.85 centimeters. So we're going to fold that. Let me grab my bone folder. I'll just turn that around the other way. So I'm doing that with my right hand because I'm right-handed. There we go. So we're going to just burnish that folded edge, and that helps the card to sit down nice and flat. There we go. So that's our card base. I'm going to have a mat of Evening Evergreen, but in fact I'm actually going to have a border of Evening Evergreen, and we're going to cut that together. So we'll do that now. So I'll bring in my my trimmer. So if you haven't seen the Stampin' Up trimmer before, this is a fantastic trimmer. It has two blades, which the light one is a scoring blade. And as you saw, I mentioned about the scoring here. It's great for scoring your cardstock, for folding. It's great for scoring for 3D projects and things like that. So, yep, so it's got a scoring blade, and of course it's got a cutting blade. You can purchase replacement cutting blades for this one. You've got measurements in centimeters and inches. On the arm, it comes with an arm that has inches on it. You can purchase the replacement arm with metric, with the centimeters on there if you use those measurements down there. If you don't, then it doesn't really matter. But yeah, you can get the replacement. It also has this extended arm as well, so you can measure, especially those who do scrapbooking or 3D items. It measures right out to 43.5 centimeters or 17.25 inches. So that's really great. It's got rubber feet, so it doesn't move, or it helps to, helps to stop it moving. And you've got a little edge at the top here, and you've also got one at the bottom, so that you can sit your cardstock up against there. So you've got a nice straight edge, and that helps to hold it in place. There's also a hanging hook as well, which is fantastic if you like to hang things up in your craft room. If you need a bit of extra space and you want to get it off your desk, you can hang it up there with the hanging hook as well. All right, so the evening evergreen we are going to cut at 10.5. So I need to just trim, oh, this one is already at 10.5 actually, by 12.5. So I need to take a little bit off this one because this was just a card front piece that I pulled out of my stash. So, hey Louise, how you going? Great to have you with us. All right, so I'm going to cut this one at 12.5. So I'm just looking up here at 12.5, lining that up. There we go. Okay, so we've got 10.5 by 12.5. And then we will cut our designer series paper. So as I said, I had already cut mine, my 12 by 12 piece in half at 6 by 12. And now I'm going to cut this piece at 10.5 centimeters wide, which is just beyond the 4 inches actually. So 10.5 centimeters wide, because this is going to go all the way across the card front. And then we want 12.1 centimeters high, so that we end up, so we're going 12.1. So then when we put this, and keep any of your little offcuts because you can use them for inside your card to decorate. You can even trim that down a little bit. I like to usually have like a 1 centimeter border if I'm putting them on the inside of my card. So yeah, you can use those bits, so don't throw them away. So now what we're going to do is when we have our card, we'll have a little 2 millimeter border of that evening evergreen at the top and the bottom across our card like that. Okay, one of those I haven't cut quite right. I think it's the evening evergreen. I think that's a bit wide. Let me just check it. This should be 10.5. 10.5. Oh, it's just a little bit wider than 10.5. Well, that's annoying. See if I can trim off a little bit. I'll hold my breath. It's always a bit scary when you go to take a little bit. Oh, it worked. Look at that tiny little bit I got off, which now that will be good. Yep. See how good this trimmer is? When you've got a nice sharp blade, you can take off the tiniest little smidge. Like I've just cut off probably about 1 millimeter, and it's cut that off beautifully. All right, so now let's see. These should meet edge to edge now. Perfect. Yep, great. There we go. And then that's going to go on there like that when I have them lined up properly, which I don't currently. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to do our detail, but I'm not going to adhere them down just yet because we'll do all the other details first, but that's kind of the base of our card. And then we're going to put some extra details on here as well. All right, so let's move that aside, and we're going to do some stamping, and then we're going to do some coloring. Now I have got some thick basic white because we're going to be coloring with our Stampin' Blends. So thick basic white is the best to use when you're using Stampin' Blends because it's got a really good absorbency to take up that alcohol, the alcohol markers. So yeah, Etched in Nature, that was the one, Amber. Thank you. That was the old one that's not available anymore, this one. Etched in Nature, that was what it was called. Yeah. But there was just some quality issues with that one, so it got pulled off the from the catalogue. All right, I'm going to stamp in Early Espresso, and the reason that Stampin' Up did that is because they pride themselves in quality products. So when a product isn't performing as it should, then they don't continue to sell it because they will only sell quality products. All right, I'm going to be die cutting this with a circle die, so I'm going to work out roughly where I want to have that to make sure I'm leaving enough space around my image to die cut my ducks. Yep, beautiful, good. Alrighty, so I'm going to clean that off. So I'm going to just stamp that off on my grid paper to remove the excess ink. I re-inked my Early Espresso this morning because I stamped it the first time to test the ducks and it was really dry. So I thought, oh, I'll add some more ink. I added too much ink and then it was too juicy. And so then I had to dab it off on the whole ink pad off a few times onto some scrap paper to then take off some of the ink I just put on it. But now we're at a good place. Now we've got the right amount of ink. There we go. Sometimes that happens. It can be a bit heavy-handed with our ink. All right. So I haven't pre-stamped any of these ready for colouring, which I probably should have done in hindsight, because you want that ink to be dry before you start to colour it with your Stampin' Blends, because you don't want it to then bleed. So I might just set that aside for a moment, and while that is drying, we can put together these parts here, because this is just going to form our base. We are going to be wrapping some twine around this, but we can, because I've got a tent fold card or a tent opening card, we can wrap the twine all the way around. So that's the easy way to do it. All right, so I will bring in my multi-purpose liquid glue, and I'm going to adhere my DSP first of all to my cardstock. And I like using the glue to do that so that I've got that wiggle room or the wiggle time, so that if I don't get it lined up perfectly the first time, I can move it around. So we want a 2mm border at the top and at the bottom. So we can just slide that around because we've got that liquid glue. So slide that around till we get that all lined up. There we go. And then when we're happy, we can press that down. Great. And then that now can go onto our card front. Who's crafting along with me today? Are we crafting? Are we sitting back and relaxing? What's everyone up to? And if you are crafting along with me, tell me what you're making today. I'd love to know what you are creating. There we go. All right, so squish that on. Good. Okay, so that's given us a few moments for that ink to dry. So that looks beautiful already, doesn't it? You know what? If you just put a bit of twine on there and a sentiment, you could be done with a really beautiful card. You'd be done, dusted, finished, because that paper is just so gorgeous on its own, isn't it? So, all right, let's move on to our little duckies, and we're going to give them some colour. So I have got lots of Stampin' Blends here. I did some colour testing earlier today. And so let me tell you what we're going to be using. So for the duck's neck, so we're going to start with the male duck first with all the colour on him. Let me move all of this out of the way. There we go. We're going to start with him, and I'm going to start first of all with his head. So for his head, I've got two colours here. I've got dark Bermuda Bay, and I've also got some light Evening Evergreen. Okay, so I'm going to use a little bit of the light Evening Evergreen, which is the darker colour. Now, if you haven't used our Stampin' Blends before, let me just tell you about the Stampin' Up Stampin' Blends. These are an alcohol marker, and they are great for, as the name says, blending colour. You can blend all different colours together. When you purchase these in a single colour, you actually get two markers. You get a light and a dark in each of the colour range. So in the Evening Evergreen, I have a light and I have a dark. Today I'm just using the light. We also have a range of natural tones. They also come in a combo pack, what we call a combo pack. So you get a light and a dark. The natural tones are actually, they don't have a name like all the other colors, like all the Stampin' Up colors, but they have numbers. So they range from number 100 through to 1000. And again, they're all, as it says, natural tones. So there's lots there to choose from. So if you want to have a look at those, you can check those out in my online store. Just click on the little magnifying glass up in the top right hand side, and you can type in Stampin' Blends, and all the different Stampin' Blends colors will come up, and you'll be able to see them there. But yeah, there's lots and lots of different colors. I actually have a chart that I use with all of the colors, which is very helpful when I am creating and I'm trying to work out what colors I'm going to use. Excuse me. So this chart was designed by Di Barnes. So if you look up dianebarnes.blogspot.com, you can find it there as a free download. And it's a very, very useful resource to have. So then you've got your colors right there. And you know, because you can't always look at the cap and go, oh, yep, okay, that's what color it's going to turn out, because the lid isn't the exact color as what the marker will turn out on paper. So don't always go by the lid, because it's not always exactly what you get, okay? Just gives you a bit of a guideline, but it's not exact. All right, so we're going to start with a bit of light evening evergreen. Oh, also too, you have two ends. These are dual tips. So you have a brush tip end for coloring wider sections, and then you have a bullet tip end. Now you'll see that the caps do click on very tightly, and that is to keep the alcohol ink from evaporating. So when you do cap your pens or your markers, you want to make sure that you hear that click. Okay, you want to hear that click, so then you know that they are done up nice and tightly, and that ink won't evaporate. And between uses, you have to make sure that you cap them so that they don't dry out. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to do a little bit of the evening evergreen just around the duck's head there, and a little bit on the front of the throat. Okay, and I just might put a little bit there just under its cheek. All right, so I'm going to cap that now so that doesn't dry out. Then I'm going to take my dark Bermuda Bay, and I like that the lids nest as well, which is great because then you know where your lid is. You don't lose your lid. Then I'm going to fill in with the Bermuda Bay around the eye. And where I've done that dark, I'm just going to blend that down on the edges, just so that it's not too streaky sort of on the edges. That looks great. That's actually blended beautifully. And I'm just using a really light touch because I'm only coloring a small section, and I don't want that color to bleed out too much. So I only just use a very light touch there. All right, now then they've got a white band around their neck, and then they've got a little chest of brown. Now I'm just trying to remember which brown I used, because did I chuck my sample out? I think I did. That's okay. I've got, let's see now. That's the ivory, that was the lighter one, and that's the bronze. So it was either the bronze or the 400. I think it was the 400. Let's do a little test. I'll do a little test over here in the corner. Yeah, that was the one I wanted to use. Now I'm going to just pop my glasses on while I'm colouring. Otherwise I'll get all blurry-eyed and won't be able to see what I'm doing. So we need to leave that little neckband white, and then we're going to come down. And it's great that in this stamped image, they kind of already have the pattern there for you. So you've got something to follow. So you know where to lay down that colour. And I can see that that little chest area just ends there. And then a little bit on the very back of his feathers as well. Like that. And then there's a little bit on the underside of his wing there. All right. And then we're going to use a lighter colour to colour inside there. Now this might be where I used the bronze. Let me see. Was it the bronze? No, it wasn't that one. Oh, I remember. It was the, I used the light grey, and then I went over a little bit with some ivory, because they've kind of got I'll show you the picture of the duck. It's kind of like a browny grey colour that they are on their tummies and on their wings. It's not really a brown, it's not really a grey. So I'm going to combine these two together. I'm going to start with the grey. This one is light grey granite. I'll just go in the wing there first. And I'll blend in a little bit with that darker colour just to soften the edges of that as well, so we don't have that harsh line. There we go. In fact, that little bit there I think should be the darker colour, just on the back there of the wings. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to take a little bit of the ivory and go over the top of that with the ivory. Not fully, but just add a few little streaks of the ivory. And because the grey granite is still wet, the ivory is going to blend in with it beautifully. And then that gives me that really nice colour there. Great, good. All right, now for the beak for this one, I'm going to use some light Daffodil Delight, but their beaks aren't really bright yellow. They're sort of more of an orangey yellow, but we don't have the exact colour in the Stampin' Blend. So what I did is I used some light Daffodil Delight, and then I took a bit of, which one was it that I was playing with? Was it Ivory or was it the Pale Papaya? I think it was the Ivory. Was it the Ivory I used? I think it was the Ivory I used, and I just put a little bit of ivory, just dabbing over the top of the yellow, just to sort of soften it and give it a little bit. It's probably a bit hard to see because it's only a small image, but just so that the beak wasn't too bright yellow, but it was more sort of like a dirty yellow kind of thing. So that's how I achieved that. And then with the feet are dark pumpkin pie, because their feet are really bright orange. There we go. While we're there, I'll do the feet of the other duck as well. The female duck. There we go. Great. Good. So that's our male duck, and then we'll do the female duck. Now for her beak is a lot more orange in colour. So I was going to try the Pale Papaya on the beak. And then again, I'll just use a little bit of the ivory just to soften that a little bit so that it's not too orange. There we go. Good. Now for the colour of this one, I'm using ivory and bronze this time. So, let me just, Dimity is finishing making her card swaps. Awesome. Louise is sitting relaxing. Nice, very nice. Brenton is just sitting back, contemplating creating another card. Lol. Awesome. Great. Love the sound of that. Hey Roz, I just saw that you have jumped on. You're making swap cards for on stage. Oh, that's so exciting. That's awesome. So Roz just mentioned on stage. On stage is a demonstrator only event, and we have got registrations open right now for demonstrators, and it is going to be, oops, hang on before I do that. It is going to be so exciting. It's going to be held in November. So the registrations are open for another couple of weeks, and then it will be closed. So if you are a demonstrator and you're watching and you haven't registered yet, don't miss out. You won't want to miss out. On stage is a lot of fun. And yeah, it's a really fantastic event. It's going to be held in the city at the ICC, and yeah, it's going to be a really fantastic event. So, and if you're not yet a demonstrator and you want to come along, then you can join my team and you can come and join us. which would be super fun. Okay, now what else are we? Oh, Amber said you're very organized, Roz, making your swaps for on stage already. All right, so now I'm using the ivory. I've just done a little bit of detailing just with the darker color, with the bronze, and now I'm going to use the ivory. And as I'm coloring with the ivory, I'm just going over the edges of that bronze just to sort of blend that in a bit so that they're not too sort of streaky lines. That's not very good grammar. So they don't look like streaky lines, but you've still got that depth of color in there. I love the mallard ducks. They're so beautiful, aren't they? The colors in the male ducks are just so gorgeous. There we go. There's our little girl. There we go. So you'll notice that I did a few little dots of the bronze on her body and her wings as well, because if you look at the actual image of the female duck, she's got darker feathers in there as well. So to try and achieve that, I could probably do a little bit more and do some other colors and things like that, but I'm just going to leave it at that at the moment because we want to move on. Oh, and we need some grass as well. Oh, I didn't pull out anything for the grass. Let's see, what color grass should I have? We don't want it too bright. I might go with some. Now let me have a look on my chart and see. Might use a little bit of old olive, light. I think we'll use light old olive. Oh, this one is tight. Oh, there we go, got it. So I'm just going to go over these sketchy lines along here so that the ducks are standing on the grass there. There we go, that's all we need. So very good. So that was really easy to color, wasn't it? Really simple to color. And look how beautiful they are. They're so cute. And they're going to look so great on that paper. Oh, Brenton said this will be his first in-person Stampin' Up event. How many swap cards do you make? Oh, we had a discussion about that on the weekend, Brenton. That's so exciting that this is going to be your first live Stampin' Up event. That's awesome. Because, of course, those who may not already know, the last 2 years we've had virtual events for on stage. Well, actually, all of the Stampin' Up events have been virtual events for the last 2 years because we weren't able to meet in person. So it's very exciting that this year we can. In terms of swaps, Brenton, it's totally up to you. I have done my first ever on stage, I did 30, but they were very, very detailed projects, and I learned from that experience never to do that again because it took so long and we were still creating them the evening beforehand. I just need to trim this cardstock down a little bit to fit through my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Let me take a breath. Yes, so I suggest not having your projects too detailed, or if you do want them detailed, start well in advance. The last event I went to, I don't know if it was the last one, might have been the one before that. I did 50 3D items. Yeah, it was the one before that, that's right. And that was going over to Auckland, and that was another, I went to the live event over in Auckland, and that was another learning curve because I had to then work out how to travel with all of these 3D items, and I ended up having to take crates and then trying to fit those little crates into my suitcase. That was another issue. So yeah, totally up to you. Just keep in mind that as many swaps as you hand out is how many you will take back home with you as well. So yeah, it just depends on how many you would like to take home, I suppose, and how many you think that you can get done, yeah, before then. So totally up to you, but I think between 30 and 50 is a good number, probably 30 to 40, but it's really up to you. Any more than that, you can have trouble. I have found personally had trouble offloading. So yeah, just got to be mindful of that as well. So, all right, I've got my 2 clear plates. Oh, I don't have my base plate. Hang on a sec. Let me go find my base plate. I'm missing that. There it is. Yeah, so I haven't decided yet how many, I haven't designed my swaps yet for this on stage. I'm not even sure if I'm going to swap this year. Still thinking about that one, but if I did, I probably wouldn't be doing more than probably, I don't know, maybe 40 will be my max, I think, this time. All right, so I'm going to cut this with the layering circle dies, and I'm using the 1, 2, 3, or the, sorry, let me go from the largest, the second largest one on this side. So you get two sort of sets how they nest into each other because of the sizes of them. So this is the largest one, so it's the next one down from that largest one. And then I've also used the scallop that coordinates with that too. I'll show you that in a moment. Okay, so let's get a little bit of washi tape and we will hold this down in place. All right, here we go. Yeah, but in terms of swaps, Brenton, totally up to you how many you would like to do. There's not really any set number. It's up to the individual. But you will learn from the first time probably what suits you. Yeah. You learn as you go. There we go. All right, so there's our cute little ducks. Oh, don't they look so sweet on that little circle? They look so cute. Love that. All right, so I've pre-cut a scalloped circle that coordinates with the size of this one. To sit behind that, I'll show you when I'm just removing the washi tape so I can reuse it. There we go. So I'll get to see you there, Brenton. That's exciting. You'll have to come and say hello. I'll be the one wearing the mask. I'm hoping that a lot of other people will be wearing them too. I might be the only one, I don't know. All right, so I've got a scalloped circle as well. And this is in the evening evergreen. So I'm going to layer those two together. So we'll do that now. But they turned out really well, those little ducks. I'm very happy with that. All right, so we use a bit of glue swirled on there. And then we'll just line that up. And again, using that glue to just slide that around to get that nicely lined up where we want to have it. Make sure that it's nice and even. There we go. Alrighty. So, okay. Now, we're going to have this on here, but we're also, we're going to lose that a little bit, aren't we? We're going to need to pop that up for sure. We're going to wrap a bit of twine around here too. But before we do that, I was wondering about putting something else, having it come out from there. Cute as, you like it, Louise? They're gorgeous, aren't they, those little ducks? And the best thing is they're free. That stamp set is free with a $90 purchase, which is awesome. Okay, so now we need to work out. I've got my twine ready and I've got my embellishment. So we just need to, I'm going to have a sentiment. So maybe we should start with the sentiment next. Now I'm just trying to work out, I might change this and have my sentiment coming from behind my ducks to just break that up a little bit. The sentiment I was going to use is this one here, thank you. I wonder if I can just fit that on there. Let me just have a look and see. And let me just check for comments too, because I think I might have missed some more comments. Oh, Deborah's preparing for her class on Wednesday. Oh, that's exciting, Deborah. That's so awesome. Great to hear that. Oh, Jenny said she wishes she can colour in like me. It's really easy with the Stampin' Blends, Jenny. So super easy. Now I'm looking for the thank you. There it is. Yeah, the blends are so easy to work with. They make you look like an artist, but you don't need to be, because I'm certainly not. They just make it look very easy, because it is very easy. All right, so I have got my thank you. Let me grab a block to put my thank you on. Oh, I will need a Stampin' Pierce mat. I did put that away before because I thought I'm not going to need it today. And I forgot that this stamp set, I just dropped it. Hang on a minute. That's all right. There's more where that came from. I've got a few of them. There we go. So I'm wondering if I'll fit my thank you on there or not. Oh, it's going to be a squeeze, isn't it? With that banner. I might just stamp it. I might just stamp it straight on there. And I'll see if we can fit it. If not, we'll do a workaround. I'll stamp it in the early espresso, the same as the ducks. And I haven't used this one before. So with your photopolymer stamps, if you haven't used them before, make sure you give them a good clean before you use them, because they do come with a little bit of manufacturing sort of oil or residue on them. And sometimes the ink doesn't like to stick to them unless you've cleaned them first. So make sure you clean it and then dry it off as well. And then what we'll do is we'll do a little test on our paper. Beautiful. All right. Now I'm going to stamp it with my foam mat underneath, because it's a photopolymer stamp. It doesn't have the cushioning like the rubber stamps have. I'm going to do it right near the edge there. There we go. So this stamp set that I'm using is the Charming Sentiments stamp, which actually has a die set that coordinates with it. And the die set cuts out each one of those sentiments, which is super awesome. There's 2 sheets actually. There's another sheet of dies behind that one. Yeah, so that's super awesome. So you can use the stamps just on their own, or you can use them with the die and have the sentiment die cut. But I think I like it just on the label. So let's see if we can fit that now behind our duckies. Oh, we don't need our mat now. That can go away. Alrighty, let's have a look and see. Could do it like that. Oh, yeah. Or we could do it like that, because then we've got a little bit more room to... Oh, I think I like it the other way, actually. I like it at the top. We could have it sitting out a little bit from there, couldn't we? It would be good if that went all the way across, but it doesn't. What do you think? I just don't want it going over the edges, because if it goes over the edges, then you're going to have trouble getting it into an envelope. So I like it offset actually, rather than having it right in the middle. So yeah, that helps to break it up a little bit too, doesn't it? The other thing we could do is we could put a piece of vellum across there as well, to just soften that paper. But I love that paper though. I don't want to cover it up. Now let's just see. Oh, Carol's here too. Hey Carol. Carol is watching from the lounge. Oh, nice. Very good. Or sofa, depending on what you like to call it. Roz said she has to make a coat for her son's year 12 formal. A steampunk frock coat. Oh, it sounds so awesome, Roz. I can't wait to see the photos of that. It's going to be amazing. Rose said, I'm trying out my last new stamp set, the panda and the koala. Oh, fantastic. I'm glad you're finally getting to use it, Rose. That's awesome. That's such a beautiful stamp set. I love that one. Beautiful. Oh, you certainly will come and say hello, Brenton. Fantastic. I look forward to meeting you at Onstage. That's so exciting. Awesome. Oh, Louise said she got hers today. She got this stamp set today. Fantastic. Great. Oh, and Roz said she likes the offset. Looks great. Awesome. Okay, great. So what I might do, we might put the twine around and then we'll see what we think. Wait, the other idea I had, let's see if this is going to work or not. The other idea I had was as to whether or not some of these would... If I fussy cut some of those and put a couple of those coming out from behind. That was my other idea, because that's on the reverse side. So how about I grab my paper snips, we'll cut a couple out and we'll have a look, see how they look. If they don't look any good, then that's okay. We don't have to use them. We can save them for something else, but I'll just cut around them roughly. We'll probably only want a couple of the smaller ones, I think. Yeah, probably just the smaller ones. In fact, you know what? I could utilize this one on the edge, because if I have it tucked behind here, we don't need the full tree trunk. Not tree trunk, what do you call them? Tree rings. Trunk rings. I don't know what you call them. They're parts of a tree trunk. So we can fussy cut these. In fact, you know what? I'm going to cut these right to the image this time. Usually when we fussy cut things, we leave a little border around them. But because this is going down onto the crumb cake, I think I'm going to cut it right to the very edge. There we go. And we'll just see. We'll see how they look. There's lots of other options you can use. You can use some dies. I was thinking of maybe some foliage dies or something like that. They would look really nice coming out from behind our little duck focal image, or even behind that sentiment label. So we'll have a little play and see what we come up with. On my original project, I had actually used stamps, but because this time I'm using a very detailed designer series paper instead, we kind of didn't have anywhere else to sort of stamp. All right, let's try this and see. What if we tucked a couple of these? There are dies and an embossing folder. Yes, for the trees, the tree trunks, the rings. I forget what they're called. Hang on, let me find it in the catalogue. rings of something. Do you have those ones, Deborah? I'm trying to think what they're called. Rings of, is it rings of love? Rings of something. Hang on, let me find it. I'll find it in the catalogue for you. Ringed with Nature. That's the one. Page 62. So yeah, so this designer series paper that I'm using is the free designer series paper from the Sale-A-Bration brochure, but there is actually a stamp set that coordinates with it, and dies, and an embossing folder as well. So thank you so much for pointing that out, Deborah. I should have probably pointed that out before too, but I completely forgot to. So thank you for that. Yeah, so the stamp set, the embossing folder and dies are called a hybrid embossing folder, because the dies can actually sit inside the embossing folder, and you can run them through with your cardstock in there all in one go, so that it will die cut and emboss all in one go. I don't actually have them to show you, but that does coordinate. And look, you've got the little houses here too, and the little mushrooms, and so this coordinates with the paper that we're using today. So you've got all the different little elements there. So isn't that awesome? So that's on page 62 of the mini catalogue. If you haven't seen that one, check that out too. All right, so let's see. What if we put some of these coming out from under here somehow? That's not quite looking right. We'll keep playing. We'll keep playing and see how we go. And if we had one there and one there, like that. Something like that. I don't know, they don't really stand out. The paper is very busy. How about like that? They don't look like, they look like puddles actually. They look like muddy puddles, don't they, like that? Well, actually, that kind of goes with the ducks, doesn't it? Muddy puddles. So there you go. You can use them as muddy puddles, or you can use them as tree rings. Or tree, what do you call them when they do a cross section of a tree? When they cross, yeah, when they do a cross section of a tree and you get all the tree trunks, what do they actually, not the tree trunks, the rings from the tree trunk, what is that actually called? Yeah. How about like that? What do you think? Do you think that looks good? Like that? I think with the sentiment at the top there, oh, they call it a biscuit, do they, Dimity? Oh, thank you. I didn't know that. A tree biscuit. There you go. I think that looks good like that. Oh, you know what? I just had an idea. What if we get our daubers out and we do a little bit of inking? Hey, let's do that, because you know my favorite, I think we'll use soft suede. I think early espresso might be a little bit dark. And in fact, you know what? I should have done it with the ducks too, and with the designer series paper before I put it down. But it's just a bit of an afterthought. We'll use soft suede because I have that here. And I'll just do a bit of inking around this piece and around the tree rings or the tree biscuits to just grunge it up a little bit, age it a little bit, but also to give a little bit of a border. And anyone who watches me often knows that this is one of my favorite techniques, and I use it on almost every project, is inking the edges, daubering the edges, because I love distressing things. And if I had a thought about it before, I could have distressed the paper too. In fact, I still can get away with it. I'll show you how. So if we just do the edges of the tree trunks as well, just to darken them up a little bit off that designer series paper on the base. Just gives them a little bit more of a something something. So there we go. There we go. That's looking good. Now, will I, won't I? Will I give it a go? I could do. So let me grab a scrap. Here's a scrap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I'll turn it up the other, I'll do the bottom first. So what I'm going to do, because I've already layered this onto, I'll show you a cheats way. It's not the best way to do it and you don't get as good of a finish, but I'll show you. If you have already stuck it down and then you think like I have done, oh, I should have daubered the edges of that. Take a scrap piece of cardstock or of paper, lay it over the layers below that you don't want the color on. Then what you can do is you can just go along the edges very carefully. You've got to hold that piece in place and hope that it doesn't move. You can just go along the edges. It does move very easily, so you've got to do it carefully with your dauber. Just to, distress it a little bit. And we've got Evening Evergreen, which is a dark color, so it doesn't matter too much if we get a little bit of ink on that anyway. But there we go, just to soften that a little bit. And the edges we can still do because it goes, the designer series paper goes right to the edges. Now ordinarily I would have done this before I put the paper on, but I wasn't thinking about it. I was kind of doing it as I was going. There we go. So getting a little bit of ink on there. Because I kind of think sometimes too that if you are distressing in one area of your project, often you need to distress, you know, other areas as well, so that it all ties in. Because otherwise, if you just distress one element on your project, sometimes it can look a bit out of place. Depends on the project, of course, but yeah, I do like a little bit of inking. There we go. So that's a little bit. And then I'll open up the card and we'll do these edges, which is easy because they're on the edge. So we can do that really easily. That's looking better already. Love it. And if you get a bit of excess ink on there, that's okay. Living dangerously now. Doing it without the covering. There we go. Yeah, good. Happy with that. Awesome. All right. And I didn't do my duckies, but we can still do them because we've got just a very tiny border there of the evening evergreen, and it's a dark color. So we can still do it. We can get away with it. Look at that. Just to soften that harsh white edge. Doing things the hard way today. But I'm showing you how there's always a workaround too. So there you go. Showing you some tips. I like to show everyone some tips. Tips and tricks. There we go. That just softens it down a little bit. Oh, I like that much better now. I liked it before, but now I like it even more. There, can you see the difference? These would have been beautiful actually stamped on very vanilla as well. That would have been lovely too. All right, so now let's have a look with these tree rings. Now that we have daubered everything. Oh my goodness, I've got so much mess going on my desk. Let me just move a few things. Make some room. There we go. All right, that's my scrap. Okay, let's see now. So we have that up there. The duckies down here. Cute little duckies. And then our tree rings in here. Now this tree ring's got a little bit of detail because it's got some little nicks out of it. So I'm going to have those showing. So that will give a little bit more detail. And then we can pop that one up there like that. Is that how I had them before? Something like that. There. Something like that. What do you think? And then we'll have our twine. So we'll get out, let's see, we've got ribbon and we've got twine. I think I want to use twine actually. Let's see, I've got the Evening Evergreen, what is this one called? I forget now. Open Weave ribbon. I haven't used this one for a while. So we've got that. We could put that under there, around there like that. We could tie a bow over there. Might be a bit heavy though. I think it might be a bit heavy. We've got the window pane check ribbon in the Evening Evergreen as well, but I think that's going to be way too busy. We've got too much going on already in the background, so I don't think we'll add that one. And then this is the Baker's Twine Essential Pack, and in there we've got I've got some crumb cake, I've got some vanilla, we've got white, black and grey as well, but I don't think I want to use those. Then of course we've also got linen trim or linen thread as well, which I'm thinking I'm tending more towards the crumb cake Baker's Twine actually. I'm thinking this one. This is the very vanilla. I think we'll lose that. I think we'll lose that one. Okay. Ah, you love it, Louise. Oh, thank you. Oh, Amber said don't do it. Too late, I already did it. I just saw it. I'm just looking at your comments that I missed. Hang on, biscuits, tree rings, tree cookies. Oh, they're all called different things by the sounds of it. Well, there you go. Maybe it depends on where you come from. My poor husband. Oh, what did I say? Something. I don't know what that was in reference to, Deborah. Living dangerously? I don't know. Crumb cake, Louise said. Yeah, I think so too. So we just need to decide where we're going to put it. I think I want to go across there, maybe across there, and tie it there. Let's see. I'm going to tie a bow and just see what that's going to look like. Let's see. Oh, I'm getting hot and flustered now. Well, I'm not flustered. I'm just hot because I'm working. I get hot when I'm working or when I'm creating. When I get excited, I'm excited about this card. So I'm getting hot thinking about how I'm going to do this, and then we can wrap that around there. Yeah, I think that. Oh, that I like distressing things. I said that I like distressing things. I like de-stressing things, not stressing things. Although I am good at stressing as well. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere all of these down. Then I'm going to wrap my twine, and then I'm going to pop the ducks up on dimensionals. I think that's how I'm going to do it. All right, so I'm going to put my rings, I'll try and hold everything in place there while I grab my glue, so that I'm going to sneak some glue. I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to sneak some glue under here to hold that down, and then I'll sneak some glue under here to hold that one down. There we go. And then what I'm going to do, just so I know that I've got those in place, I'll reposition that one. Just wanted to make sure I had these two in place. I'll sneak some glue under there. Come on, glue. There we go. And under there. There we go. So I know I've got those in the right spot. Okay, and then we'll position this one. Just line everything back up again. This is how I roll, people. When I'm winging it, I work it out as I go and just, okay, so that's going to go about there. I'll leave my ducks in place for the moment. I'm not sticking them down just yet. I'm going to put some glue onto this one. Whoa, nearly went off the edge with my glue then. That would have been messy. All right, and then I'm going to tuck this down under here and line that up where I'm going to have that. I want that right at the edge there. Make sure I get it straight, hey, that would be helpful. There we go, so that'll go there. Now let's use our grid paper to line that up. Make sure I've got that going straight across. There we go. We'll wrap our twine, undo that bow now. I'm going to wrap the twine around twice, and then we're going to tie a bow over here on the tree rings, tree biscuits, what was the other thing? Rings, biscuits, and cookies. All right, so I'll open up my card, and I'm going to wrap that twine around twice. I'm actually just going to turn it upside down while I do that. 1, 2, there we go, and we'll tie that over here. I'm going to trim off the end there. I love this Baker's Twine Essential Pack, and I love that you get 3 different colors. Oh, sorry, 3 different colors. You get 5 different colors. What am I talking about? 5 different colors in the pack you get, which is super awesome. So you've got lots to choose from when you're designing your projects. All right. So we'll tie our bow over this side. Oh, you know what I'm going to use? I have been using, because especially with twine, I have trouble holding on to it as I'm tying it. So I'm going to grab my new tweezers from my embossing accessories set. Hang on, I've got to find them. They're in here. There they are. So these are reverse grip tweezers, and they come in a set with the embossing tray, and they have the tweezers, they have an embossing buddy, and they have a paintbrush as well for sweeping away your excess embossing powder. But these are great for holding your twine, if you can get your twine in the right spot where you want to have it. And then you can squeeze them open, slip them in under your knot, and then they hold your knot for you while you tie your bow. Makes it so much easier. And then your twine doesn't slip away from you as you're tying your bow. Whoops, go under, not over, under. And now I'm making it look much more complicated than it really is. Oh dear. Hang on, let me do that again. It got stuck. Let's try that again. Okay, bow. I hope I've left enough twine on the ends now. And then I'm going to put the loop going underneath the tweezers. And then we'll release that and then just tighten it. There we go. Yay. And then you've got a nice tight bow. So has anyone done that before? Is that a new tip, or did you all already know that? You're probably all so clever. I'm sure you are all clever that you all already knew to do that. So now we just fuss with the bow and get it how we like it. And then we can get our duckies ready to put on there. I'm actually going to put that bow and crisscross that twine over a little bit more. Get that bow sitting right where I want it. Now, if you find that your bow is not sitting where you want it, you just add a glue dot and just get the glue dot to pop underneath it. I'll show you because I'll probably do that to get mine sitting exactly where I want it. I think I want it over a little bit to the side. So I'll just squeeze my cardstock a little bit and just give it a little jiggle. There we go. Better cap my glue. All right, and let's pop some dimensionals onto the back of our duckies. I'm going to use up some of my edge pieces here because I have got so many edge pieces and we don't want to waste them. Use them up because they are fantastic for these extra little bits, you know. Just use them up. Make sure you have one in the middle to support it. And I'm just going to snip some of these other larger edge pieces into smaller pieces. Oops, I'll do that down here too. There we go. I'll use this one that just fell off. There we go. Looks messy on the back, but nobody's going to see it, so it doesn't matter. Alrighty. Now we want to make sure before I release that backing paper, we want to make sure that we've got our bow right where we wanted it. In fact, I think I want it over a bit closer to my ducks. So I moved it over to the left, but now I want to, I've decided I want to have it a little bit closer to my ducks. So move it back over to the right a little bit. And I want to make sure that I've got that sitting right before I adhere my ducks down. Do you have trouble with your bows too? Sometimes it takes me a bit of fiddling to get my bows sitting exactly how I want it. I think I've got this bit coming from the wrong angle, that's why. There we go. Had that coming from the top rather than from behind. That'll be better. There we go. And then that will go in there. Yep, and then we'll add some bling. Awesome. Okay, we are ready to stick our little ducks down. Alrighty. Does anybody have ducks near their place, near where you live? We don't see ducks down here, but not far from here we do when we go driving. Actually, when I used to work at the preschool, we'd often see ducks crossing the road and have to slow down for them. We sometimes saw emus as well crossing the road down there near the there was a bit of bushland down there that the emus liked, and yeah, so that was always interesting seeing emus. And that's sort of in a you know, there was a bit of bush down there, but it was in a built up area, so it was yeah, it was a bit strange seeing emus down there crossing the road, but there was a reserve nearby and that's where they sort of lived. So I'm just using a glue dot. I've just rolled it in a ball with my take your pick tool, and I'm just going to pop it underneath my knot of my twine there, just to hold that in place so that that sits nicely. and it stays put, and then we can trim up the ends. And I always like to add extra texture and just separate the ends of my twine, and you do that just by basically untwisting the twine to just separate and then sort of fluff them out a bit with your finger, and that just softens those edges a little bit. There we go, gorgeous. And now we just need a bit of bling, and then we are done. So let's see. I'm doing a lot of cheating today. I am, Amber. I am. I'm giving everyone all the cheat tips. You know, I've got to help everybody out. Make it easy for everyone. Oh, Louise said she has got ducks near her. She lives in the country. Oh, there you go. So you see heaps of them. Awesome. Well, I am thinking, we have got all of this bling, and I am thinking the best ones to use are either going to be, these are ones I've just pulled out today. Of course, I've got much more bling than this, but I'm thinking the champagne rhinestones or the rustic metallic. I'm thinking the champagne because they're going to give us a little bit of a bling and that shine, whereas the rustic metallic dots are more sort of a matte finish. So let's see. We'll use some big ones down here, I think. And let's go with a medium one as well. Where do I want to put this one? I might put one up here on the, actually I might get a small one. I want to get a small one. Oops, had it and I lost it. I'll put one there. And then what if we put a medium one up here on our sentiment, like that, and then I think we can put a couple of small ones here and there too. Let's put 5 on this one and really bling it up. Oops, keep thinking I've got them on the end of my take your pick tool, and then I don't have. No, I don't want to put one on the duckies. I just want them on the background. Let's see. How about if we just go, we'll just go up here on the little toadstool. There we go. There we have it. We are done. There's our card. So quite different to my original card using the one that's no longer available. But there you go. But that was my inspiration. So my original card that I made. And then that's what we got today. So totally different, but you can see how you can just use one project for inspiration and then just really change it up, yeah, to make it a bit different, but using the same sort of similar layout. So there you go. All right. Okay, my oh, okay, I think I've lost signal. All right, are we back? Are we back? Everything froze then for a moment. Oh, Brenton says he sees more kangaroos than ducks where he is. Ah, lovely. Beautiful. Oh, Carol likes my card. Thank you, Carol. Isn't that so beautiful? And we've used free designer series paper, free stamp set, and the only one we really used was the we just had a sentiment stamp set. You can use whatever sentiment stamp set you have in your stash and just the inks that you already have. So there you go. And the bling and the twine. So yeah, so really beautiful. We're back. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Yes, everything froze. So I quickly shut the internet off my computer. So I had less devices running. All right, well, I am going to flick back up to say goodbye to you all face to face. So bear with me for one moment while I do that. Here we go. I'm going to cover up the camera again so I don't make you all dizzy while I just do all the adjustments. Here we go. Alrighty. Okay, let's flip those cameras, adjust the lights, and we'll be all back in action. There we go. Okay, Got it. Good. Let's adjust that camera. There we go. Okay. So there is our beautiful card. What do you think? Do you like it? I think those ducks are so cute, so adorable. And that paper, that design, that free designer series paper from the Sale-A-Bration brochure is so beautiful. I have to admit, when I first saw it, I saw all the detail on it and I thought, oh my goodness, it's so busy. I don't know how I would use it. And then when I received it, I ordered it and I received it and I looked through it and I thought, actually, it's really beautiful. I love it. And it just goes so well with those nature scenes. So how cool is that? Yeah, awesome. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that today. Now remember to, if you're looking for any of those products, be sure to go to my online store, and remember you can go to my blog to find my online store. And while you're there, sign up to my newsletter as well so that I can send you that free tutorial. And then also too, I can keep you updated with all of the latest Stampin' Up news. Also my classes as well. I have lots of different classes all the time. So I keep you updated with those as well. So remember that, and remember too that we've just got a couple of more weeks left of Sale-A-Bration, and it is a great time to join my team and to become part of the Stampin' Up community. We have such a beautiful community of beautiful crafty people, and we are also crazy about craft. And it blew me away the first time that I went to a live event actually, and I met all of these people. I was in this big room, this big event room, big auditorium, full of all these people that were so crazy about card making and paper craft and scrapbooking as I was. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm not the only one. And it was so lovely to meet all of those people. And some of those people I met on that very first day have become some very good friends of mine in the stamping world and personally as well. So it's really wonderful. So if you would like more information about that, be sure to let me know. I'd love to give you information about how you can join. And remember, it's only $169, but you get to choose $235 worth of product to put in your starter kit. Now there's no lock-in period either. I think I forgot to mention that before. If you join and then you decide, no, it's not really for me, no problem. You can just go back to being a customer. There's no exit penalties or anything like that. It's totally fine if you change your mind, that's okay. But give it a go. You won't know unless you give it a go. And you also don't need to do what I do. So you don't need to do Facebook Lives. You don't even need to sell the products to anybody. You can just purchase the products for yourself and for your own crafting enjoyment. Okay, so don't feel that there's ever any pressure about any of that. There's certainly not. You can do whatever you like. All right, but please feel free to ask me any questions that you have, because I would love to answer them for you. And just know that even asking questions, there's no pressure or expectation, okay? I just love people to ask me. All right. Oh, Louise said she can't wait to use hers. She loves it. Fantastic. Rose said, lovely card, Mandy. Thank you. Thanks, Louise. Well, I hope you all have a fantastic week. If there's anything that I can help you with, please get in contact with me and let me know. I'm here to help and serve you. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up demonstrator, I would love to look after you as one of my VIP customers. Yeah, please get in contact with me. So have a great week, everybody. I hope you all stay well, stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you all again next Monday at 4 p.m. Australian Eastern Time. Until then, happy crafting, everyone. Bye.